Citi News.
It's midday. Hello, good afternoon. Welcome to Citi Prime News, live from our studio at number 11, Dr. Martin Loop in Accra. This news is live across the globe on citinewsroom.com, Citi 97.3 FM on Facebook, and CityTube on YouTube. My name is Caleb Kuda.
And I am Wilma Obobisa Coleman.
Coming up, following the brutal assault of some residents of Garu by military operatives in a dawn raid, Member of Parliament for Garu demands a probe into the actions of the officers and compensation for affected victims.
All these things are things that government needs to investigate and come up with a good report on this, and then possibly compensate them for all what they have suffered, the injury they have suffered.
Also coming up, Special Prosecutor Kisia Jabin Clare's former Minister of State at the Finance Ministry, Charles Edubuahing, of any criminal conduct in an investigative piece by Anas Aremiao. Anas still ahead with 5 days to the New Patriotic Party NPP presidential primaries. Camps of leading candidates accuse each other of inducing delegates with money.
This inducement is part of the African system, which is bad, including all of us.
Is your team also inducing people?
Oh yes. We are only saying that if we are inducing, we should do it in such a way that people don't see it as buying them.
And later, we'll take you further downstream of the Volta River, where the spillage of the Akosombo Dam has devastated Atito and Fiaho communities in the Volta region.
Believe that because of the dam spillage happening currently at Akonsobo and its surrounding communities, it moved all the way from Anyanwi down to this side. So this is what is pushing the water to this area.
Stay tuned as we bring you details of all that and more on Citi Prime News, which is live on all our affiliate stations across the country in the Western region. This is Premier 100.5 FM in Takoradi and Beach, 105.5 FM in Takoradi as well. In the Budo region, you're welcome on Greener 95.9 FM in Sunyani in the Shanti region. This is Orange 107.9 FM in Kumasi in the Volta region. We are live on Akpeni Radio 96.7 megahertz, Pando Heritage 107.3 FM Hohoi in the northern region. This is Dasuma 99.1 FM Yendi in the upper east region. This is Word 88.3 FM in Zuarungu in the upper west region. Westlink 88.1 FM Laura. And in the northeast region, we're live on Eagle 94.1 FM in Wale Wale.
Citi Prime News at 12 midday. Updates you on all the running stories and connects you to the newsmakers.
Thank you for staying with us. Let's start with our very first story. And the Member of Parliament for Garu in the Upper East Region, Albert Zuga Akuka, is demanding compensation for residents who suffered from military brutalities over the weekend. On Saturday, October 28, reports indicate that some military men stormed Garu in a dawn raid and assaulted residents in the process. The Ghana Armed Forces has justified the attacks, accusing irate youth of the area of first attacking national security operatives. Now, speaking to Citi News on the matter, the MP urged the government to not only conduct a thorough probe into the issue, but ensure victims are adequately compensated.
Government should be able to probe into this matter. The investigation or the probe must be a two-way. First of all, there's this letter from National Security alleging that people in Garu, youth in Garu, had intercepted or confronted national security operatives and then shot into their car. All these things are things that government needs to investigate and come up with a good report on it, and then possibly compensate them for all what they have suffered, the injury they have suffered. We should take care of their bills. When people have lost, as I mentioned to you earlier, that somebody is claiming that he has lost his money. The person has lost his money. and he believes that it was taken away by some of the security officers who were there. These are all things that people, why should people incur such losses? Yeah, so people should suffer because they have inflicted some pain on their bodies unjustifiably.
That was MP for Garu Albert Alauzuga Akuka. Let's move on to the Office of the Special Prosecutor now, because the Special Prosecutor Kisia Jabing has cleared a former Minister of State at the Finance Ministry of any criminal conduct in a secret investigation conducted by journalist Anas Aremial Anas. Now, Charles Edubuahing was captured in a secret recording which led to his dismissal from the Akufo-Addo government. After close to a year of investigations, the Office of the Special Prosecutor released a report in which it stated that although the former minister engaged in influence peddling, he did not engage in any act that frowns on the laws of Ghana requiring further action. The OSP has therefore closed investigations into the matter, saying it may be reopened should the circumstances arise. Joining us on the phone lines now is my colleague Hanson Ajuman. Hanson, welcome to the Citi Prime News. If you can hear me, the OSP released a 13-pager report. What are the key details and the justifications for its ruling clearing the former Minister of State of any criminal conduct in the secret investigations?
So what the Office of the Special Prosecutor has done is to indicate that after its investigation, so first it authenticated the footage that was given to it by the Anas Aremial Anas team, that's the Tiger IPIT,
right,
and indicated that the footage as presented to them actually was the original sequence of events. And so, if you all remember the Galamsey economy documentary, the Special Prosecutor outlined that there were two separate meetings. Now, the first meeting was organized by the investigators in the matter who identified themselves as businessmen and sought to inquire from the then minister as to how they can establish a bank in Ghana. And then the Office of the Special Prosecutor noted that in the response of the then minister, that's Charles Edubuahing, he dutifully took them through the processes of establishing a bank in Ghana. The Special Prosecutor noted that if the meeting had ended at that particular point, then Charles Edubuahing would not have done anything wrong. But there was a second meeting where the investigators gave the real reason for which they undertook the investigative process, which was to say that they had an investment worth $1 billion that they were hoping to invest in Ghana, and sought from the then minister, that's Charles Edubuahing, what his percentage will be from that. In the documentary, and according to the footage reviewed by the team of the Office of the Special Prosecutor, Charles Edubuahing noted that he was going to take 20%. He said to have explained to the Office of the Special Prosecutor that he only said a 20% because he thought that the investigators, and that is the investors, as they presented themselves, would have rejected the said offer he was giving to them. Now, he also went ahead to talk about himself, his political alliances, who his father was, and his link to the president. And so the Office of the Special Prosecutor, upon considering and evaluating the entire conversation that happened with the second meeting, came to a conclusion that at every point in time when Charles Edubuahing was engaging with the people, even though he explained during interrogation that he was doing it with a view of attracting investment to Ghana, the Office of the Special Prosecutor thought that he was only doing it for personal gain, and that the aspects where he relayed his information on his relationship with the president, with the vice president, and certain monies that ought to be paid to the vice president all those are mounted to what the Office of the Special Prosecutor talked about, described as influence peddling. Now, the point here is that in Ghana's laws, you cannot charge somebody or you cannot prosecute somebody for an offense if that offense is not stated in law with the punishment provided. And so even though the Office of the Special Prosecutor acknowledged that in other jurisdictions, the offense of influence peddling is offense stated in those jurisdictions. When you come to Ghana,
it's not a crime per se.
Yeah, there's no specific offense called influence peddling. And even though the Office of the Special Prosecutor finds it to be influence peddling, which is a corruption-related offense in its view, because there's no specific offense stated as such, then he cannot be charged for that. Reason the Office of the Special Prosecutor has closed the investigation into it. And essentially what that will mean is that the Office of the Special Prosecutor has discharged him of the investigation, but has also given notice that if need be, the investigations may be reopened.
Right.
They've gone ahead to prefer recommendations where they are asking for a corruption-related act, which would incriminate every single act that can be deemed as corruption,
right,
which by estimation will mean that influence peddling
would also be punishable.
Yes.
Very well. Many thanks to you, Hansen Ajaman. He's my colleague here in the Citi Newsroom, bringing us details of the Special Prosecutor's report of his investigation, his office's investigation into the alleged commission of corruption and corruption-related offenses involving Charles Edubuan. We'll bring you some other stories. Wilma has some more.
Now, the Food and Drugs Authority office in the Eastern region has cautioned traders to desist from selling turkey tail, popularly referred to as trophy, to the public. The warning comes after it confiscated items of traders in Suhum and in Saumaduejiri. The FDA explains that the product has a high fat content of over 15%, with the potential to increase the risk of developing cancers in the lungs, breast, colon, and brain. In an interview with Citi News, the acting head of the FDA in the Eastern region, Anita Ozukufo, said her outfit will continue monitoring the situation to ensure a complete end to the sale of the product.
As far back as in 1999, there was a communique that was issued about the banning of turkey tail. The turkey itself is not banned; it's the turkey tail that is banned, and the reason being that the fat content exceeds 15%. And if you look at the causes of cardiovascular diseases, there's a risk factor in it. Consumption of high animal fat. So, in line with it, we realize that certain areas within the Eastern region seems to be basically not adhering to this regulation. So we needed to address it. And usually people will say, why is it that since it's imported product, you don't stop it from coming? What we do is we prevent it from coming. But due to mislabeling and people with devious intentions and repackaging it as a misleading packaging, sometimes it's difficult to detect as they come in. But as a regulatory agency, there has to be a means of enforcing the rule. Once the product gets in, even though it's not supposed to be in, what do you do to address the issue? We gathered the intelligence, we knew where the products were being kept or being offered for sale, and we went in. It's part of our monitoring processes. So obviously, if you tell people I'm coming to a place today, they'll pack up and you don't see anything. So we really can't disclose when our next move is. And we will continue to ensure that the health and safety of the general public is not put at risk by the offering of such products for sale.
Anita Usukufo is the acting head of the Food and Drugs Authority in the Eastern region.
Let's bring you some labor-related stories now. And the National Labour Commission says it has begun processes to avert a strike by the University Teachers Association of Ghana, UTAG. This comes after UTAG formally notified the NLC of its intention to go on strike on the back of concerns over conditions of service and other related issues. According to UTAG, there has been a delay in negotiation and conclusion of conditions of service, which is expected to be implemented in January 2024. Now, speaking to Citi News, the Executive Secretary of the NLC, Ofusua Samoa, says Vice-Chancellors of the various universities have been advised not to alter the agreements of the conditions of service pending its conclusion.
We received it and we started working on it. We have sent the relevant notice and request for action to the ministry, the Commission on Tertiary Education, and those who matter in the case. We have also acknowledged receipt to the president of UTAG, as well as the one Professor Jampu, who is also on Legon campus, and I've been chatting with him. Work has begun on it. So as I talk to you today, there's a meeting of the Vice Chancellor and the ministry. The ministers has convened a meeting, and that there has been even an earlier letter to the Vice Chancellors of the various public universities not to make any variation in the already agreed terms of for the UTAC. So work has begun on it to address the concerns raised in the UTAG notices for the strike. That is so. We are doing everything to affect the strike.
Ofosu Asamoah is Executive Secretary of the NLC.
We'll go to the Western region because the concerned youth of Sekondi Takoradi were organized last Friday. Sekondi Takoradi Deserves Better demonstration have debunked the regional minister's branding of the demonstrators as NDC members. The leadership of the Sekondi Takoradi Deserves Better demonstration at a press conference this morning in reaction to Kwabena Tridakun Mensah's comments accused him of being power drunk. The public relations officer of the Sekondi Takoradi Deserves Better demonstration, Makol Mensah, said the demonstrators cut across parties and other interest groups.
We still stand by our call for authorities to prioritize development regardless of their political affiliations. We are compelled to remind our Honorable Regional Minister for his past. Not so long ago, he was an aspiring MP. At that time, he sought the support of every citizen, including MPP, NDC, to go there and vote for him. It is our sincere hope that the intoxication of power has not blinded him to the needs of his constituents and his people in this region. Power is transcendent, and he is urged to reflect on his actions and the missed opportunities for development in our metropolis and our region. As a leader, he has failed to respect the voices and concerns of the people. But we want to assure him that this is just the beginning. We want better, and we are going to get better. As a group, the entire metropolis is behind us, and our call for development will not be weakened by cheap framings from our minister. We know that this is a stock in trade. Politicians, it's easy for them to deflect attention, focus on the irrelevant name calling, and not talk about the issue on the ground. Don't worry, we're going to ignore the attacks and focus on the main issue. Focus on getting Sekondi Takoradi to the level it deserves. If he has some dignity, we challenge him to address the issues one by one and not just focus on the roads. What about the CNC? What about the stadium? What about the traffic light? What about the street lights? What about Fairconta Hospital? What about Takoradi Hospital? Address those issues and stop the name calling. We are aware of their schemes.
You heard the public relations officer of the Sekondi Takoradi Deserves Better demonstration, Makol Mensah.
Now, the Eastern Region branch of the National Democratic Congress, NDC, has issued a 48-hour ultimatum to the Ghana Police Service to arrest police officers and members of the NPP allegedly involved in stealing rail tracks. According to the NDC, some police personnel from the counter-terrorism unit are providing security for some constituency officers of the NPP who are allegedly selling the stolen rail tracks to Chinese investors. Eastern Regional Communications Officer of the NDC, Kocho Dankwa, who spoke to Citi News, says the NDC will petition the Office of the Special Prosecutor on the matter.
So we have made a decision that from here, we are petitioning the police, the OSP, and all the relevant agencies to make sure that all those involved are brought to book, then the law take its course on them. We have issued an ultimatum that in 48 hours, if the police does not effect arrest of those involved in this illicit act, we are going to make sure that we galvanize ourselves, we put ourselves together. Then we go to these areas where they are cutting the rail tracks. Then we'll make sure that we would have what is referred to as citizen arrest. Yes, the police have been complicated in this whole issue, But maybe because the police was not unaware, that maybe it could be because the top hierarchy of the police were unaware of all of these things that were going on. But now that light has been shed on this whole issue, now that you, the media, you are taking it out for the police leadership to know about it, I'm sure that they will do the right thing and they will make sure that the law take its course.
Kojo Dankwa is Eastern Regional Communications Officer of the National Democratic Congress, NDC. You're still listening to the Citi Prime News live from our studio in Adabaka, Accra. You're watching us live on Facebook on Citi 97.3 FM and on YouTube. We're on Citi Tube. When we return from this break, we take you further downstream off the Volta River, where the spillage of the Akosombo Dam has devastated Atito and Fiaho communities in the region. I am Caleb Kuda here with Wilma Obobisa Coleman. We'll be right back.
Citi Prime News at 12 midday. Update you on all the running stories and connect you to the newsmakers.
Citi TV is live on DSTV, GoTV, and HD+. On DSTV, find us on channel 363. On GoTV, we're on channel 117, and on HD+, get us on channel 108. On a digital TV, run a new search, but take note that without an antenna, you cannot access Citi TV. Citi TV can be accessed on any free-to-air digital box like the GoTV and HD+ boxes. Citi TV, it's your world.
Citi Prime News at 12 midday. Update you on all the running stories and connect you to the newsmakers.
Thank you for staying with us. To some of the stories now. And the Atito and Fiaho communities in the Volta region are one of the areas hardest hit following the recent spillage of the Akosombo Dam. Residents attribute the flooding in their area to the excessive release of water from the dam. They urgently appeal to the government to address the dire road conditions and provide safety gears for children who walk through the stagnant water to school. There is more in this report filed by my colleague Fred Duho.
Within the Anglo district, specifically at Atito, a number of houses have also been flooded. In this house, the entire compound is flooded and the owners have nowhere to go. This is a heavily contaminated water and the color of it should tell you the level of pollution. Mommy, lako joafi na lafia ko abena na ka do mojo anu jofu ga ka mi va kpere nto pom makpeleji modona jole hema achiakwe ya dodo pia ha enye kichi achu afi gara pamono ato school mission school paka achiara school paka kata echiafa jochu penya afika echikenye ya chafu enye alo laguna alo amwenye fikechi achuchum amwa mafiocho ato ni apaka jivadora jinyapama ni anu ya jojome myaji afia aja aronari gakamye na gakafa ya moto asugbo agbanu garami anchi nukawe bleno apart from judo people of yawa nukawe bleno awona manyi magakponu rapo. We just spoke with one of the residents of Atito in the Anglo district. What she's been telling us is that her kitchen is flooded, the compound as well as the pot where she used to cook is also flooded. And the entire situation has been recurring, but this year's has been severe in that the water has stayed longer than it is expected. And she thought it would have receded by now. But the water, I asked her where the water is coming from. She mentioned that the Volta River that enters into the lagoon at a point, overflows East Bank and enters into the community, and almost everyone is affected. We want to now go into the community and see whether the situation is different. They have stones or blocks in the water that they are able to use to cross to the other side. The school block is the JHS of Atito, where students, we understand, still go there to study. Even today, they were there basically to have their lessons.
And though the water has surrounded the entire school compound, they have no playground, but they found means to get into the classroom to study. Unfortunately, we missed their lesson period. We got here a bit late, but we understand they were here today to study and they've closed school. Tell us about the situation of this school block.
Initially, this is supposed to be the nursery, but unfortunately, because of the unfortunate situation that we found ourselves, we decided to convert this place rather to the JHS section and leave the other area for the younger ones to occupy. We invited NADMO last week, and they came with some relief items, being like a rice, oil, and other stuff. But what I am still expecting them to still do is to get them some Wellington boots so that at least they can use that to be crossing the water to get in to their classrooms.
The water not deep?
It's somehow deep, but not all that deep. If they get Wellington boots, at least they can use it to cross to the classroom and come back home safely. Yeah.
Has the education service come around? Are they aware of the situation? Have they been informed in any way?
Yeah, for that I am not aware, but I think they might get aware of what's our situation for now, because I am very much aware our headmaster or the headmaster here have been sending reports, daily reports to the education office. So I am very sure they will be aware.
The important question to ask now is, where is the water coming from?
We believe that because of the dam spillage happening currently at Akonso Board and its surrounding communities, it moved all the way from Anyanwi down to this side. So this is what is pushing the water to this area.
Has this ever happened before?
Not at all, not at all, not at all, not at all. This is the first time we are experiencing something like this.
We are on our way to Fiaho, another community that is not quite too far from Atito. They are all within the Anglo district, and the water is joining each other at a point. So very soon this road will be cut off due to the excess water that is trying to make its way to the left side, where the water from the right has cut off the road at this point, entering into the left side. And when you go beyond, which is the left side, you are going to Alakple and other communities in that area. Alakple is a very popular community that has produced some illustrious sons of this country over the time. Now, these people, I am wondering how they are going to cope should this situation get worse. We are making our way gradually. You see the road, the entire road is being washed away. The water is moving with a certain level of force. The wind is also aiding its movement and is gradually eating off the road. And the situation is getting serious by the day. I know very well that these people live just by the lagoon because of their fishing expedition. But over time, we understand, due to the spillage from the Akosombo Dam, it has caused the river to enter into the lagoon at a point, specifically at Anyanwi, making it rise to a level where it is now coming into this part of other communities within the Anglo district. From the look of things, if this road should remain here in the next week or so, then it should be a certain level of miracle. But largely, the situation or the water is receding in the South Tong, North Tong, and Central Tong areas that were hardly hit last 2 weeks. But the people downstream, which is Anglo and Keta, are now feeling the impact of the situation. Behind me is the school that accommodates a number of pupils in this Fiaho community. They are supposed to be in school on a daily basis, but as of now, they have no option than to stay home, basically because their school compound is totally submerged, and the students, for the fear that they may fall in this water and a disaster may occur, they've been asked to stay back home while they wait and see whether this situation recedes in the coming days. We are told that they've closed school for some time now, and the teachers are equally at home. This is Fiaho. I want to believe a number of you know the Kotoka International Airport. Yes, General Kotoka, the airport was named after one famous General Kotoka, and this is the community where he comes from, Fiaho, in the Anglo district. And the entire community where Kotoka comes from is underwater. His statue is in this community where we understand this is where he was brought up before he gained fame and the international airport named after him for some obvious reasons. These elderly women would know a little bit about General Kotoka to tell us. General Kotoka. So she's taking me to where the bust of General Kotoka, or the man after whom the international airport was named, is here. So
here is it. Here is it. Here is it. Come and see it. Enter the house and see it. Here is it.
How do you know him?
Oh, he is my uncle. Real uncle.
And what do you remember him for?
That's his house and that's my house.
So,
he is my real uncle.
So you've made this beautiful cage here to protect him and everything. But he's passed away a very long time ago. Yes. And seeing the community where he comes from currently underwater, how do you feel?
Oh, the water is not good at all. That's Kotoka, that's his son.
Oh, okay, so the father is here.
Here is father.
The father is here, the general himself is here, and then we have the son of Kotoka also here. Yes. That's interesting. Now tell me, taking into account the fact that a monument like the Kotoka International Airport is named after him, what do you make of that?
Oh, Kotoka International Airport. Please, I beg your pardon, I never knew that place.
You've never stepped there before? You don't know your uncle has a property named after him as Kotoka, as big as Kotoka International Airport.
I need it.
Would you want to step there one day?
Yes.
Very first time coming to the graveyard of General Kotoka, specifically at Fiaho in the Anglo district. And there you see his statue boldly erected and in that significant manner, showing clearly the kind of stunt soldier he was in his days. And today we have Lieutenant General E.K. Kotoka, and killed on 17th April 1967. So that is boldly written on his grave. What would you want Ghana to do to remember General Kotoka, aside the fact that you don't even know where the Kotoka International Airport is? So what would you want Ghana to do aside?
You must remember as always. You must remember Fiaho as always. You must not forget us. We help the town and the people in the town. You help us.
So what kind of help do you want?
You always need money and the food.
Oh, okay. And then your road too, I realize the road leading to his town.
Road too.
It's not too good.
The road too.
It's not too good. Auntie, we want to thank you very much. So that is my mother right there telling us about her uncle, E.K. Kotoka. And we are still going to the community to see the extent of damage. And I'll be bringing you extensive coverage from the affected flood zones within the downstream of the Volta region, following the dam spillage from the Akosombo Dam. And here we are today, almost at the tail end of the Volta River, where we are in the town of E.K. General Kotoka. My name is Fred Zuho.
Now, in a world where people often face tough challenges, there are stories that show the unbreakable human spirit. Today, we'll take you to 3 island communities, Anyako, Konu, and Seva, near the Keta Lagoon. Here, history echoes through the struggles and hopes of the residents. These communities are dealing with rising floodwaters caused in part by water release from the Akosombo Dam. This has led to a tough situation with poverty, poor living conditions, and diseases affecting the people. In our upcoming report, we join Richard Delasky from Citi News as he explores the heart-wrenching story of these communities in crisis.
Dawn breaks in Anyako, a timeless fishing community cradled by the embrace of the Keta Lagoon. This is a place where history echoes, where the footsteps of both heroes and victims have left indelible marks.
People want to take pictures of Willie.
Willie.
That is Harley.
Okay.
The first IGP.
Okay.
And maybe Corporal Tipo.
Okay.
Corporal Atipo, a courageous man, met his fate near the castle in Osu, Accra. It was during the historic protest by Gold Coast soldiers who had valiantly served in World War II. Anyako was his home. It was also the birthplace of Kofi Hale, the first Ghanaian to lead Ghana's police service.
My name is Wisdom Sade, and I'm the assembly member for Anyako, Konu Seva, electoral area.
Which are the communities within this enclave that you spoke about?
So we have Anyako Pota, Anyako Isef, Konu, which is the main fishing community. Then we have Seva, which is another adjoining island linked with a road to this one.
My name is Richard Delasky. Today we are in Anyako to bear witness to the harrowing tales of its residents and those of Kongu and Seva. They live in homes submerged by the relentless force of the Keta Lagoon in ways they've never seen before.
You can see for yourself that there is flooding all over the place. I can say that because of the rainy season, when other rivers have filled up, they all find their way to this place. Then the spillage from Akonsobotu drain down to this place. So that is what is affecting the town now. Apart from the 1961, which we were told is the biggest, but this recent time, this is the biggest and more devastating one that we have.
Nestled between Potap and Kongu in the Keta municipality, Anyako is home to 6,000 resilient souls. They depend heavily on the expansive Keta Lagoon, a waterway fed by the Volta River, a complex network that weaves its way from the estuary at Anyangui, where the Volta River pours into the Atlantic Ocean. Their very source of livelihood has turned into a merciless adversary, claiming their homes, their health, and even the very foundations of their community.
Oh, that's a cemetery also flooded. So there are chapels underwater. What is that? My little boy. What is that? Is that a school? It's a school building.
Schools, roads, cemeteries, churches, and traditional shrines all lie crippled and in ruins. Despite being 140 or so kilometers from the Akosombo Dam, Anyako, like many in the lower Volta Basin, feels the full weight of excess water, leaving Ghana's biggest hydroelectric dam. So we have come to one of the schools and chapels here in Anyako. And clearly water has taken over the school. My brother, come.
My name name is Dugbe Francis. I'm a student of Anyako Awamofia Senior High School.
What are you studying?
I'm studying clothing and textiles.
And how old are you?
I'm 18 years old.
Where are we at the moment?
Abome.
This is Abome.
Yeah, LA. The school is LA.
Abome LA what?
School.
And so now that water surrounds the whole school, there are no stones to get them across. So how are they going to school?
Oh, they walk.
They walk through the water.
Yeah. There is the water in the class too.
I see. Wow. I see. And is that a church?
Yeah.
What church is that?
Yeah.
Hello. How are you? Okay. Mitanda nana. Minana kpoka fie. Godo. Nkada gamiala. Akpa. I see. So as we speak, I can see two gentlemen engaging in what appears to be a miniature form of dragnet fishing. They have a net that has a sack behind it, sort of, forming the shape U, and they are dragging that at the bottom of the water that has taken over the Aboma school fishing. What they are trying to do is to basically trap the fishes, and I can see one of them in red jumper picking out fishes that they have caught and throwing them into a bucket which is held by a young boy behind them. They have in there a bowl, at least two bowls, and then a plastic basket which they are using to collect the fishes that they have caught. Yeah, Mama. Agolo.
Comfort is
Meet Comfort, a 74-year-old retired teacher whose home is no longer a haven. Over 80% of her abode is claimed by water, leaving her with just 2 rooms, a small shop, and a tiny space she now calls her bedroom. First of all, what happened to your right leg?
By that time, I was frying fish before the hot oil poured on my foot, and they would refuse to yield.
How long ago?
2013, 3rd September.
You remember that day?
Yes.
Where are your children?
One is at Kasua, and then one is at in Sawon. I'm having 4. 2 passed away, and then I'm having only 2. 1 man, 1 woman.
Are they working gainfully?
One is the woman is working her own small jobs, but the male one is working at some department.
So how do you take care of yourself?
I'm earning small pension, and then selling small salt.
How much is your pension? Do you know how much you receive a month?
Yes, 800.
Ghana cedis?
Yes.
Is that enough to take care of medical bills and then your cost of living?
I'm managing it.
Why are you standing on your leg, which is injured and not healing, holding your walking stick and standing at the main entrance to your house?
Plenty water. The lagoon is in the house. Plenty. I'm walking through the veranda to enter my room.
Is that not dangerous? You have put blocks in the water and you climb those blocks and get onto what you are calling the veranda.
I manage it.
As we explore further, we find that while Comfort's home is reeling under the relentless siege of the Kete Lagoon, the story next door, in the home of another Jakpasu, unfolds quite differently.
I'm Christian Gamali Jakpasu.
And you are native of...
Anyako.
Okay.
Yeah.
For some reason, your house is not underwater. Why?
As for me, I've seen some things before. and some flooding just come, but not this very one. That's why I defend my house like this.
How did you defend your house?
I do bought some materials, wasted materials, and defend the wall.
Oh, okay. So you bought quarry items, rubbish, and all kinds of things which you dumped here to fill the land.
To fill the land and defend the water.
I see. For how long have you lived here?
20 years now.
Okay. So I can see that you have all kinds of animals here. You have sheep. How many do you have?
Okay. At first, I got plenty sheep, but throughout the water, some have died. And I got about 42 goats now.
Oh, okay. I see. And then you also have chicken and cockerel.
Yeah, I have some small, pig.
Okay. I see. Oh, okay. So
I got it plenty, but because of cost of food, I sold some.
Hey, that's one again.
In the middle of the struggle, sanitation worsens. Floods submerge manholes and latrines, forcing open defecation. Good afternoon. How are you?
I'm fine.
What are you doing here? Why have you come here? Is that your sister who is, squatting and defecating there openly? Oh, okay. It's often children who embark on treacherous trips to water-surrounded dam sites to empty their bowels. In every conceivable way, these are communities under sustained siege, with very little or no hope of winning the battle against the fast-expanding Keta Lagoon. With the floodwaters refusing to recede, a grim alliance of poverty, squalor, and disease has emerged into an unrelenting menace, inflicting profound suffering, especially upon the most vulnerable residents of Anyako, Kongu, and Seba. Wow. A visit to Aholu's home unveils heart-wrenching sights. His rooms are submerged, his possessions lost, and his life hangs in a delicate balance. At night, he sleeps above the water, a wet mat atop carefully arranged cement blocks. By day, he bends his nets under a makeshift shelter in Kongu, a nearby community. The resulting social and economic devastation is nothing short of heart-wrenching, horrifying.
When this river, the water also is like this, you see that this formation of fungi and those things. So that is leading to a lot of skin diseases in the town.
And I noticed that these skin conditions are on almost everybody that I interviewed.
Yes.
The kids also affected. As a community, how are you dealing with that?
Yeah, we spoke about this to the health directorate, and they invited the people to the clinic we have here for some treatment. It was worse from the beginning, but now because of the treatment, some have some relief. But it's coming back because of the flooding. No, it's coming back. And that one too, you see the sanitation situation. Some of our public toilets have also been submerged. Some KVIP and things, and you can see that KVIP, if the rest of the fecal matter is filled with water, it will just float, and it's been polluting the whole area. Bota is on the high land. So I think the community shelter there, like a big place, a hostel or something, yes, will help a lot. Because when it's built there, the water cannot go there. So when it happens like this, we can move people there. When the whole thing subsides, then we come back.
With many victims forced to sleep rough, the absence of common shelters for those left homeless by the floods exacerbates their suffering.
Nikonyenyi Mata Skalak.
Skalak, a resident, shares her perspective. She believes that whilst the provision of relief items is crucial in the short term, it's not a sustainable solution to the challenges brought on by the relentless Keta Lagoon. The people of Anyako, Kongu, and Sava have demonstrated unyielding resilience in the face of nature's relentless fury. Their spirit, like the lapping waves of the Keta Lagoon, knows no surrender. But these trials have cost them dearly, leaving indelible scars on homes, hearts, and hopes, including those of these little ones.
To be faithful, a lawyer, to Ghana, I place my soul to Ghana.
Their ongoing battle against the relentless waters of the Keta Lagoon echoes through every corner of these communities. The tears they've shed are mirrored in the shimmering surface of the lagoon, and the heartbreak they endure is carved into the depths of their souls.
So help me, God.
Wow! Clap for yourself. In Anyako, Kongu, and Sava, the story is far from over. The past meets the present in a delicate dance of struggle and survival. As we leave these battered but brave communities, their stories continue to be written, etching their indomitable spirit into the annals of time.
Well, that harrowing report was filed by Citi News' Richard Delasky.
Let's move on to some other stories now. And the camps of flag bearer hopefuls Dr. Mahmoud Baumia and Kennedy Ajapong have engaged in the exchange of words. We'll bring you that story in a bit, but this is still the Citi Prime News. We're coming to you live from our studio at Atadabaka in Accra. My name is Caleb Kuda here with Wilma Obobisa. We'll go for a short break. We'll be right back. Stay tuned.
Citi Prime News at 12 midday. Update you on all the running stories and connect you to the newsmakers.
Happy birthday to you.
Ashes to ashes, dust to dust.
Throughout all life-changing moments such as graduations, weddings, funerals, birthdays, ATL is there to ensure you're never out of style. When you think fabric, think ATL. Log on to atlfabrics.com. Order and buy your favorite ATL fabric. You can also visit our shop at number 40 Kwame Nkrumah Avenue, opposite the Swansea Shopping Arcade at Accra Central. Also available in leading fabric dealer shops in Accra, Kumasi, and Cape Coast. ATL, bringing fabric to life.
Imagine this. Your employees spend 1/3 of their lives at work. That's 13,000 days or 110,000 hours dedicated to their jobs. At Old Mutual, we don't just see the numbers, we see the faces and the dreams behind them. With our tailored group life insurance and pension plans, you can provide your employees with employee benefit schemes that gives them peace of mind for their futures and for their families. Make the choice that shows your commitment to your employees today. Call 0509-551-609 or email corporateservices@oldmutual.com.gh. Old Mutual, do great things every day.
Citi Prime News at 12 midday. Update you on all the running stories and connect you to the newsmakers.
You're welcome back. The camps of flag bearer hopefuls Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia and Kennedy Agyapong have engaged in the exchange of words over alleged inducement of delegates, while Kennedy Agyapong insists that some delegates, like constituency executives and MPs, have been given 100,000 Ghana cedis by the Dr. Bawumia camp. His side claims these allegations are in reaction to the fear of defeat. With 5 days to the November 4 polls, the following report puts a spotlight on the campaign strategies of the 4 finalists.
The 4 candidates, in accordance with their appearance on the ballot paper for November 4, are Kennedy Agyapong, Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia, Dr. Usuefri Akoto, and Francis Adainimo. The 4 are seeking the mandate from over 200,000 delegates after some 900 delegates whittled down the number of candidates on August 26. The November 4 polls appears to be a 2-horse race between Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia and Kennedy Agyapong. This has been evident in the intensity of the campaigns between the two and the messaging from camps of both sides. All 4 candidates, however, as part of their campaign strategies, have taken trips across the country. Kennedy Agyapong's campaign, for instance, tells Citi News that the Asin Central Member of Parliament has so far visited all 275 constituencies in the country.
We've been very busy. We just completed the 3 northern regions which were outstanding. So far we've gone through almost, let me say, every constituency in the country.
Equally has the Vice President's team visited most constituencies, with Dr. Bawumia currently in the northern region. Dr. Usuefri Akoto's team has also resumed its campaign after suspending same following the demise of the wife of former President Kufuor.
The Honorable Dr. Usuefri Akoto campaign is ongoing in earnest. And actually, as I speak to you now, I'm in Sunyani now. And we've covered the Ahafo and Bruno areas. We have been engaging at the polling station level and the electoral area level, because that is what Dr. Usuefri's campaign is all about.
Observed from afar, the Vice President's team appears to have captured the top echelon of the party to its side. This is evident in how constituency executives always endorse his candidature when he makes a stop in their constituencies.
Blekum East is no-go area for Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. Nyame ya dum November 4th, yakwa to abana. I can assure you of not less than 80% of the votes.
Kennedy Agyapong, who claims to have the support of the grassroots delegates, including polling station and electoral executives, has accused the Vice President's team of inducing the constituency executives and MPs with monies and goodies.
In Ashanti region, one of the chairmen, he got Toyota Land Cruiser Prado. Some got as high as 150,000. In Central region, some chairman got Toyota Nissan Navara, brand new, and it cost 40,000. When you convert it, it's 440,000 Ghana cedis. And now, you are going to vote with all these people, and they will come and give you 2,000 cedis.
The Vice President on his campaign trips has, however, attempted to debunk these claims, explaining that it is only a tactic deployed by his detractors after sensing an impending defeat.
The way the results of the superdelegates came, many of our opponents are confused, and they are seeing looming defeat on November 4th. And because of that, they've decided to adopt some new tactics. The new tactics is what? If you miss the ball, don't miss the man. That is the new tactics that they are adopting. And so, what is the tactics? They have decided to spread lies and to bring disunity amongst us and to create problems between chairmen and constituency executives with polling station executives and electoral area coordinators. They want to knock our heads together. So they have come with different lies. I'm hearing a lie every day as I am sitting down and watching what they are saying. They say I've given all constituency chairmen, 275 constituency chairmen, 100,000 Ghana cedis and a pickup. Have you seen any pickup here for your chairman?
But the campaign team of Mr. Kennedy Ohene Japan, who appear disappointed at the actions of some MPs and ministers, says it will campaign against some of these MPs to lose their seats.
If we get a chance to win most of these MPs and will be cleaned up, then we will we will campaign against them.
All those who didn't support you?
Of course, Papa Nyeri, Abone Nyeri.
For Dr. Usuofri Akoto's team, they have not been interested in inducing delegates as they are campaigning as though it is the national election where it is impossible to induce all Ghanaian voters.
Team presents. Dr. Usuofri Akoto is an embodiment of humility, loyalty, long suffrage, and commitment to our party and our tradition. You see, and so we don't need at all to do vote buying.
The candidates have been explaining to delegates why they are the best to lead the new patriotic party into the 2024 elections. Kennedy Ohene Japan continues to trumpet his capacity to deliver jobs for Ghanaians.
You can be a good farmer, you can be a good businessman. Why don't you ask him the same place what you can do and only ask for certificate? If you vote for me, no certificate, MP.
Hansen Ajman Father report read by Nanatufo Boateng. That's how we end Citi Prime News, which came to you live from our studio at Adabaka in Accra. My name is Caleb Kuda.
And I'm Wilma Wobisa Coleman.
The afternoon edition of the Citi Business News come up shortly. Thank you for listening. Good afternoon.